So today we are going to talk about taxi business. Okay, so taxi business, it's anything Uber, Bolt, na kadhalika. So there are three ways through which people get into taxi business. The first one, you are a driver. Okay, you drive your own car, so you can also get in as a driver. Okay, driving a partner's car. So the car is not yours. You hire it from someone, and also there is the third way where you are a partner, or we call them investors. Okay, so meaning that you just buy a car and give to someone, you are not driving, you are not actively involved. So the category that I'm going to address today is this that category. Okay, whereby you are getting into taxi business as a partner. You just buy a car, you give it to a driver, and agree with him how much money he will be giving to you. And I want to show you how you can reason this out and make this taxi business profitable to you. So normally, if you are a partner and you give a car to a driver, the driver will give you minimum 1,000 shillings. Maximum, I have seen them giving 1,500 per day. Okay, so my advice is always to these people who are partners. So you are not actively involved in the creation of money in this business, but the driver is giving you money from his daily collections. So if you agree with your driver, whichever amount, 1,000 is normally for the old cars, but 1,500 is for the new cars, the hybrids, for the small CCs, because the cost of running it in terms of fuel is low. If you agree whichever amount you agree with here with your driver, do this. Create two accounts. Okay? Accounts. And by this I mean bank accounts. Okay? Whereby you have the car account and then you have your personal. Sawa, I'm not going to address this personal because the personal side depends on what are your ambitions as an investor. How much money do you want to make at the end of the day? There are people who will be happy with 10,000 per month. Others will be happy with 50,000. Others will not be happy if they don't make 100K per month. So on the personal side, I will not talk so much about it. I will talk on the car side because my strategy has been, and what I always encourage investors to do is that you need to put aside 500 shillings per day. Okay, no matter how much your driver gives you, if it's 1,000 or 1,500, if you put 500 shillings per day aside, and the drivers normally work for 6 days, it means by the end of the month you will have put aside 12,000 shillings. At the end of the year, you will have around 144,000 shillings that you have set in that car's account. What is the purpose of this car's account? You know that this car will have some cost that it will incur. But given that my advice today is for people to buy foreign used cars because they will come in, let's say, at a slightly higher price, but the cost of maintaining them in the long term will be less instead of you going for second-hand cars. And also, Uber had threatened to remove old cars. So you don't want to go shopping for second-hand cars in Kenya, and then within a short time, you hear Uber is discontinuing maybe 2015 cars or 2016 cars. So you better import or buy from a local dealer a 2019 unit. Okay? So if you buy a 2019 unit, the only big cost there will be insurance. Okay? Insurance normally is somewhere between 50 to 70K, depending who is selling that insurance to you. And then here you have your regular service. Okay, and other things, let's say like tires or balancing or wheel system, which sometimes can be a bit hectic. All these costs put together, let me just put here, all these costs put together, they normally come to around 100K per year. Okay, sawa, 100K per year. And this is when you choose comprehensive insurance. Normally some people choose to go with that party, which costs like 10K per year. Okay, and you can still do it when you are doing taxi. So if the total cost of running that car is 100K per year, and here you are putting aside 144,000 per year, it simply tells you that this car that you gave to a driver will never require you to get money from any other source to keep that business going. You don't need to touch your salary. You don't need to take money from any other source because this car will sustain itself. And I was actually doing some crazy analysis. Let me just delete some things here. I was doing some crazy analysis and I was telling some people that if you are, let me just highlight the case number 3, partner, you give your car to your driver and you are not actively involved. I was telling some guys that if you maintain discipline on this kind of saving for the car, this car can serve you actually for 10 years. And I know how you can do this. You know, these small cars, when their mileage hits around to 50,000 kilometers, okay, sometimes they start to ask for something like a gearbox, something like an engine. You need to do some major replacements. Sawa. And this saving will take care of that without any issues, because for the first 3 years, if you import, for example, and we get a very good unit low mileage, or you go to a Muhidi in Mombasa, you get a deal car, the first 3 years you are guaranteed that hizi pesa hautakuwa unazimaliza zote. You'll still be having some 50,000 remaining that you can carry forward to the next year, meaning that even when you go to year 3 and that car requires a gearbox, maybe that will cost you 80k Kenya shillings, that's not a problem. You just take it from here and that business itajifanya bila stress. Let me tell you where people go wrong. Sawa sawa, hiyo biashara itajifanya bila stress. Okay, wacha nikwambie where people go wrong. People go wrong because they never separate personal account, okay, with car's account. So all the money that the driver sends, it comes to your personal account. So you combine this money with daily expenses, you use it to pay bills at home every time, and at the end of the month you are at 0 shillings. Your account balance is reading 0 shillings. So when this car gets into trouble and you want to buy insurance, or you want to buy a new gearbox or something, you will feel a lot of strain because you don't have money ready for this car, because the money you got you already put into other purpose. But my advice is this: if your driver is giving you 1300 per day, okay, you be happy with the 800. Keep your 800 here and do whatever you want, and then this 500, okay, put it here, even if it is for 5 years, without any problem. The surest thing you can be guaranteed is this car will need this money at some point, even if not all of it. If you decide to sell this car after several years, okay, and it has not exhausted this money, you can now cross this money over to this other side of personal use. But let me tell you guys, taxi business is one of the best investments in Kenya. Why? Tell me any business that will carry its operational cost from day one. I hope you understand what I mean by operational cost. Every business iko na cost of running it. Inataka insurance, inataka rent, inataka this. Which business will you open in Kenya that can pay for its operational cost from day one? Uber business can do that, okay? But it requires discipline. I hope you guys know what happens with KRA. If you really want to be tax compliant in Kenya, let me tell you, you need to be very, very keen with the nitty gritties. Every receipt that you receive, every payment that you make, you must get a receipt that is KRA compliant if you want to have an easy time with KRA. And the same thing with this kind of business. Some people want to run it kienyeji and expect good outcomes at the end of 3 years. Some guys receive this 1300 in their personal account throughout 3 years. But when this car falls, breaks down and requires a gearbox, they don't have anything in their account. They start to complain. To be honest, you do a proper financial analysis, you will come to see that the return on investment in this business is actually better than so many businesses that we are doing in Kenya. So what you need to do on your side, as I finish, is to analyze your personal ambitions. How much money are you happy with on this side? Okay, and this I always say it is very important. Ambitions are very, very important, and ambitions are different. That's why you will see some people. Let me go back a little bit. Some people will get a job that pays 50k per month and they are very happy. Others, they will get 500k per month and they are unhappy because they want maybe 2 million. Sawa sawa. So it is very, very important for you to gauge yourself, for you to say that your ambitions have been met in terms of profitability, in terms of revenue. How much money would you be happy to make per month from this investment so that you can be happy? So if you see that making because this 800 shillings that we are putting aside here per month, per day, this is your net profit. This money you can use it from day one if you want, because in any case the money you are putting on this other hand will be enough to cater for the business. So 800, so you can do 800 because the drivers, they drive 6 days per week, and then times 4 weeks per month, and then we have 12 months. So whatever you get there, that is your potential profit per year. Sawa sawa. If you are happy with this taxi business is yours. If you are not happy with what you get here, forget about it. I hope you guys have understood what I have explained. Always, our number is there. If you need a car from Japan, always happy to help. See you in my next video. Cheers.